So here is the process. Here you are in your body doing step one all day, every day. You're sifting and sorting through the contrast of your reality. And out of it, that's step one, you're asking. Step one, through the sifting and sorting and comparative experience, you're asking. And whether you're doing it with your words, with your mouth, with your sound, or whether you're doing it with your vibration or emotions, it does not matter. You are doing it. You can't stop doing it. You are asking all day, every day. That's step one. And that is an involuntary thing that happens with you. You cannot turn that asking off. Life evokes it from you. Step two is this vortex thing that we were telling you about, your inner being over here in this vibrational reality. Step two is where your inner being acknowledges what you're asking for. Law of attraction responds to what you're asking for. And the entire universe is then sifted and sorted for cooperative components of what you're asking for. Step two is it is given. When you ask, it is given. That would make a really good book. When you ask, it is given. It is given every time, and it is given immediately. You ask, and step two is it is given. Step three is you must be in a vibrational place of deciphering what has been given. Step three is what we've been calling the allowing mode or the receiving mode. That's where you tune your frequency so that you can begin to sense it. You know how a dog can hear what you can't hear? And you never say, oh, stop faking. He can smell things you can't smell. That's fortunate for you. But you never say, stop faking that. You acknowledge that this beast is hearing and smelling differently than you do. Well, we want you to begin to sense, to perceive differently than you have been, because we want to call your awareness to the existence of something that is trackable, it is traceable, it is noticeable. And as you get into the receiving mode, then you're able to do that. Well, what's the receiving mode? The receiving mode simply means you've got to get on the same vibrational frequency of what's in the vortex. Otherwise, you can't sense it. You've got to adjust your frequencies upward, which means you've got to release resistance from it. In the same way that you must set your radio dial in your vehicle to the same frequency as what's being broadcast from the tower somewhere. You can't have it on one channel and receive what's on another. In other words, you know those frequencies have to match up. And so it is with you. Your frequencies have to match up, which means you can't be angry and receive what's in your vortex, because it isn't angry, it's joyful. You can't be afraid and be aware of what's in your vortex, because it isn't afraid, it is confident. You can't be confused because it's clear. You can't have hate in your heart because it is love. In other words, your frequencies have to match up. Now, the way your frequencies match up, there are a variety of ways to accomplish that. Appreciation certainly is one way, but if you are focused upon something that is causing you to not feel appreciation, you can't just flip on your appreciation switch, because law of attraction will not let you make that jump that fast. Law of attraction is bringing you things that are very much like what you've already got going on. So if you are focused upon something that has you feeling pretty bad, and you know you're not in vibrational alignment with your vortex, and so you are right now blocking or stifling or hindering or certainly not letting in what you want. Better said, you're not in a position where you are receiving the revelation that's being offered. And by the revelation, we mean your inner being knows where you stand in your physical body in relationship to every single thing you want. Your inner being is saying, if you would go over there and then 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 over there, it's going to take a while, then over there and then over there and then over there and then over there. Not only would you have a good time going over there and 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 over there, not only could it be satisfying with every step along the way, but you will come to a full realization of what it is you are wanting. But if you are focused other than upon being in the receiving mode so that you receive those impulses and those thought impulses or more, those thought impulses that then become thought movement, that become an impulse to do something, that become a rendezvous with things that you want along the way. If you are in a different frequency, then even though the revelation is happening because your inner being knows and is revealing, don't you like knowing that? Your inner being knows what you want and where it is and where you are in relationship to it, and is giving you constant turn-by-turn guidance about it. But if you are bummed out about something, if you are angry about something, if you are upset about something, if you've chosen to get your feelings hurt about something, if you are making someone else the reason that you are feeling bad, if you've turned over all your power to someone else, if you're looking for a conditional reason to feel good, if you're needing to see it before you believe it, then you might be missing every clue. But it doesn't keep your inner being from offering them. And it doesn't keep you from occasionally being happy by accident and stumbling on one every now and again. We just want you to understand that you can be happier on purpose. You can choose more satisfaction along the way. You have more control over how you feel than you've been giving yourself credit. And we know for sure that if you would stop focusing upon trying to find something that you can't find from a place of not being able to find it, and instead focus upon just feeling a little better right now and not trying so hard to bang something into place, that more often you would be in the receiving mode, and more often you would receive the impulse, and more often you would feel satisfaction, and more often you would experience the joy of your life experience. And so it goes. We have some harsh news for you. You're not ever going to get it done. Someone told Esther many, many years ago, "Don't worry, honey, you can rest in heaven." And as Esther got to know us, she wanted to write that person a letter and say, I don't think it's that way. I don't think we're resting in peace. I think that we are exuberant in life all the time. You like that, don't you? Yeah. There is no death. There's just more life. The deadest that it can be is you. You're as dead as it gets. You are. You're as dead as it gets when you pinch yourself off from what you want and feel unhappy. That's as dead as it gets. Living enough life to want and then holding yourself apart from what you want. That's dead, and unnecessary. So when you begin to realize that your inner being is focused upon what you want, and you let your attention be upon getting into the receiving mode, the art of allowing your connection to this vibrational frequency that is you, then there's a passion for life, an exuberance for life, a satisfaction step by step that is nearly indescribable, and that even if we do describe it to you, it's not meaningful to you until it happens to you. And it's really not meaningful to you until it happens to you because you did it on purpose. When you begin to exercise deliberate control of your own vibrational frequency by adjusting your vibrations because you're looking for emotions that feel like satisfaction rather than dissatisfaction, now you're really on the trail. Now you're really on that path. So the harsh things that we want to say to you is, you never get it done. And the reason that we want so much for you to just take that on the chin and understand it in the way that we mean it is because with everything that you desire and then subsequently achieve, you also achieve a new set of contrasting experiences that causes you to launch more rockets of desire. So your quest for expansion will never cease. It's what we are all about, this joyous, eternal unfolding and becoming, not toward any end, but toward constant, joyful unfolding. And think about it. When you are an eternal being, you want it to be that way. You want steady contrast to cause an evoking of constant desires to which you can find vibrational alignment so that you can experience the joyful unfolding of. In other words, that's what it's all about. Would you ever say to a child, a little child that you know and whom you love, would you ever say to that child, you just sit there and I'll go out and I'll live your life for you and I'll report back to you? In fact, I'll write a book about your life and maybe you'll like it when you read it. Or do you want that child to get out there and have the experiences? As the child begins to walk and isn't very good at it in the beginning and falls down over and over again, you never say, get up, you little dummy. Instead, you allow that child a discovering of his balance. You understand that there is a satisfaction in learning to walk. There's a satisfaction. You see their faces. They don't want you to take them by the hands and walk with them every step along the way. Once they begin to get their balance, they're going to pull away from you, and they are going to run away from you. Watch them in the airport. They're running all over the place. When one gets loose, he's hard to catch. And it's because there is this exuberance in self-discovery of your own empowerment. And this is what we wish for you: a self-discovery of your own empowerment, a coming together with the larger part of you, with the whole of you, and the living of life more fully by you welcoming in your conscious realization of the constant revelation that the larger part of you is offering to you. It's constant. And so your vortex is in a constant state of unfolding, and it's getting bigger and bigger and riper and readier and readier. The question is, are you ready for the content of your vortex? Are you ready to receive it into your experience? Because it will not assert itself into your experience. You have to allow it in. It didn't assert itself into your experience. Contrast caused you to identify it and ask for it. This is law of attraction. This is law of asking. This is law of receiving. This is no law of assertion. Sometimes you say, well, I will just wait. And when it is really important, then God will insert into my experience the things that are appropriate. And we say, you got to ask for it. And then after you've asked for it, it will be ready for you, but you've got to get ready for it. And that's what we are all about in this gathering today. We want to help you to figure out how to adjust your vibrational frequency so that you're more ready for the reception of the next step and the next step, for this continual, eternal, life-giving, unfolding treasure hunt that you are upon and that we are upon with you also. So, we're eager to talk to you about anything that matters to you. There is nothing that is off limits. Anything you want to talk about, we want to talk about as well. It is unlikely, it's not going to happen. All of you are not going to sit in the hot seat. But we are knowing who you are and what you want, and we know who among you is most ready to articulate what many of you are about. And so what happens here is we will choose a sort of spokesman for a large segment of what you are about. It happens that way in a perfect unfolding, and you will notice as the day unfolds that the things that you want to know about are being talked about. And often you are in less resistance if you're sitting out there than you are if you're sitting right here. So just relax and allow this perfect unfolding as we get right to the heart of what matters to you. It is our absolute knowing that as wonderful as your vibrational countenance is right now, you will leave behind more and more and more resistance as the time of this morning goes by. And you will leave this gathering in a much stronger place of allowing what's in your vortex to begin moving into your experience. And so we're going to have a wonderful time here, a time primarily of clarifying some things, yes. We're happy to answer anything that you want to talk about. And most important, helping you to find a vibrational frequency that will put you more in the receiving mode. You can tell when you're in the receiving mode by the way you feel. The better you feel, the more in the receptive mode you are. The worse you feel, the more you are not. So that's just how it goes.